Oh my God. They found me. I don't know how, but they found me. Run for it, Marty!
Hey YouTube, Phatpastor. Merry Christmas. Thank you guys so much for showing up tonight. I think we got a good show tonight for you, and hopefully everybody will, just a little bit there. Hopefully everybody will have a good time on the show tonight. Let me get to tonight. We have got once again with us Mr. Z King FPV is going to join us because we're going to be talking about whoops, and we are planning a.
Bronx. Good evening, Phatpastor and gang. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everyone. Scott Davis, Randy P. Hi, Marty. Merry Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas, guys. Merry Christmas, guys. Zach and I are planning a race together on December 30th. It will be in Shelbyville. You can go to Soki or Music City Multi-Rotor and get all the information on that. Would love to see you all there. So tonight we're going to go talk about everything Whoops, going to answer your questions and just have a regular night of just hanging out with the guys. Let me check the chat real quick. We've got Neil Anderson here, said looking forward to the show. Watching through the Matrix isn't near as fun. Happy holidays, everyone. McFly says, let's go family, spelled with PH. And Pastor Larry says, howdy, y'all. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Pastor. And Mr. Bitterroot FPV is here. Says, hi, friends. How's it going, Mr. Bitterroot? And we heard Jarvis read out Mr. Casey's good evening. Pastor Gang, Happy New Year.
Inside the mind of Matt. Merry Christmas, my people.
All right, Inside the Mind of Matt is on. Mr. Scott Davis is here. Hey, Scott, how's it going? Scott's a member on the channel. Thank you for that. Mr. Randy P is here. Merry Christmas. And Merry Christmas to you, Inside the Mind of Matt. So we're going to be talking whoops tonight. Everything whoop that some might be a bit controversial, but we're gonna hash through all of that. So how's it going, Zach? You doing all right, man?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Just been hanging out at the house, doing a little flying here and there, and
I love whoops.
Trying to get everything going on these races and stuff. Trying to make sure everything's lined up and worked out and put the word out to everybody. And
yep, and still try to manage to get ready for Christmas all at the same time, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, don't be surprised if my wife comes in and starts wrapping Christmas presents behind me.
All right, we won't tell nobody. So you can tell her secret is safe with us. So yes, Matt, love all things whoop. I'm going to get into all different kinds of frames, different kinds of motors, different kinds of batteries, and what difference they may make and what they might not make, and all of that, and different props. I've got a bunch of stuff here. This usually goes in my whoop case, and printing out whoop cases and all. So, well, I thought that one had a whoop in it. I'll put one in. There we go. Really liking the bamboo printer, but before we get going any further, I want to go ahead and do mail call or mail time. And I don't have a lot to talk about, but a couple of things did come in the mail that I definitely want to talk about tonight. So here we go.
Mail time. Mail time. Mail time. Mail time. Mail time.
The mail's here. Here's the mail that never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes, I want a whale. Mail!
It makes me smile to think my friends will say, I wonder what's in the mail today. What's in the mail today? What's in the mail today? I wonder.
Mail call! Copper bottom. This one's from your mom.
Oh, is there anything for me?
Oh, I got something for you. That's from my sister.
I recognize the handwriting.
What's in the mail today? What's in the mail today?
All right. Well, the first thing is I got some more of the We Bleed BT 2.0 batteries. I'm not even opening them. I'm going to take a razor to those. But the main thing I want to talk about is this little baby here.
Hey, guys.
And a big shout out to Zotek from We Bleed for setting me up with this. This is the crown frame. I just got it today, so I haven't put it on a yet, but we're going to compare them to the other frames out there and talk about the differences, the pros and the cons, and one of the things that you guys probably already know about me is, I'm a big proponent of, hey, that's...
I put a Fractal 75 Pro Max together with Walksnail this last week and it needs a bit more lift, hovers at 60%, probably gonna put higher kV motors on it if the 3 blades don't help. Hey, Mike.
Mm-hmm. Yes, let me post that up there. You guys didn't catch all of that Jarvis said from Bitterroot. That's something we're going to talk about. Oh, man, don't you hate it when you drop stuff in that hard-to-get place under your bench? But, but yes, let me put that up there because Bitterroot, we're going to be talking just about this topic in just a little bit later on in the show. So stick around on it. He says, I put a Fractal 75 Pro Max together with Walksnail this last weekend. It needs a bit more lift, hovers at like 60%. Probably going to put higher kV motors on it if the 3 blades don't help, the tri-blades don't help. This is exactly down the path that we're going to be going about. First, I want to show off a little bit of this crown frame. The thing that intrigues me about it is the actual crowns on the end of, so when you flip over, it will help keep your props all out of the carpet, off the floor, or whatever when you turtle. So, yeah, that's something that I think is going to help. But we're going to get into looking at some frames. Here's the We Bleed batteries. And I will label these because I normally pull the stickers off of them.
Kiz Bartlett. Hey, hey.
Hey, Mike and Kiz, how are you guys doing? Hope everybody's ready for Christmas and going to have a big Christmas. But let's start off with frames.
I bought 22,000 kilovolts for it, but used the 18,000 kilovolt that already had the plugs cut off.
Yeah. So, yeah, Bitterroot says that, and we're going to talk motors too tonight. So, all different kinds of motors and what their differences are. He bought 22,000 kV for it, but using the 18,000 kV, already had the plugs cut off. So, yeah, we'll get all into that. I actually have a fractal 65 millimeter built here that right now has Betaflight on it. I want to take it to the race or a race and let people fly it with Betaflight and then put Quicksilver on it and let people try it with Quicksilver. And some of this stuff tonight.
8-bit waving hand.
How's it going, 8-bit? How's it going? Some of this stuff tonight, some people may disagree with me on. But unlike other people, I'm not going to sit and tell you any one of these frames are the best, any one of these stacks of motors are the best, or any battery is the best. Because I believe that best is subjective. And
45 millimeters props 802 motor work okay, ducted 1002 or better. What up routers?
Yep. We'll be talking motors here in just a little bit also. But first, what I want to do is I want to look into some frames because the going thing right now seems to be with a Whoop just as light as you can possibly get it. And I agree with that principle, but I don't know if that is always the best way to go. So let's look here. I'm going to start off with the older cockroach frame. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but it says 3.7 grams.
It's hard to read.
Is it hard to read?
Yeah, we'll just have to take your word for it.
How about now? Can you see that, guys? I can see it pretty good.
Yeah, that's a little better.
All right, let me.
Yeah, I can see it.
All right. 3.7 grams for the old cockroach frame. A newer cockroach frame, 3.7 grams. The cockroach frames, they come with this card in it that says lifetime warranty, but I don't know of anybody, and maybe it's just people that I hang around with that actually send a frame back. So we're at 3.75 for the cockroach frame. These are the frames that come on the different Mobulus, kind of the Mobulus 6 stock frame. It's weighing in at 3.3, and those of you that's got the green Mobula will see that it's also weighing in at 3.3 grams. And we're going to do some different stuff. We're going to measure some stuff.
What's up, everyone?
Then we have the hey Rabble Rotor, how's it going, man? Thanks for dropping by. Then we have the Meteor 65 frame V1, 3.3 grams, so it's a little lighter, about 0.4 of a gram, almost half a gram lighter than the cockroach frame. And then we have the Meteor 65 2. You see the difference?
They definitely have car weight diff
in them here. You can see the difference. Now, the cockroach frames has 4 spars, 4 single spars, which is a little bit thicker vertically. We'll talk about this stuff later. The Meteor 65 has 6. I believe this with the point, I might have these two mixed up. I believe this is 1, or this may be 2, and then this is 1, but I think this is 2. The Meteor 65 version 2, that 3.3 grams, 3.2 grams, so it's like 1 gram lighter. And then
Meteor 65.
And then the 3s, I believe, are the Meteor 65 frames here at 3.2. So they're consistently about 3.2 for the Meteor 65. But this is the Air.
Smiling eyes.
This is the Meteor 65 Air frame, which is considerably lighter at 2.6 grams. This is going to be the lightest frame of the night. And there's another one in black, 2.6 grams. This, in case you guys are wondering, this is the, it came on the Eachine. This is the, it's like the Meteor 65 Pro frame, but it's the Eachine. It has the 35 millimeter prop ducts for the
Fractal
bigger. It's coming in the heaviest at 3.8. Now, I just took this out of the package today. I have not weighed this. I don't know how much it weighs, but here is the crown frame. That this is a pre-production model at 2.9. Quite a bit.
UZ65.
Let's see. Let's compare it to the airframe. 2.6 for the Meteor 65 airframe, and this is, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not mistaken. This is in design with We Bleed FPV and Fractal are coming up with this frame. So so this is 0.3 grams heavier, and let's just look at our standard Meteor 65, 3.2. So as far as weight goes, your two winners are the air frame, whatever you want to call it, the Meteor 65 Air, and the crown frame. So you notice the crown frame only has 3 spars in it also, but they're thicker this way. So this frame seems sturdier in my hand, the crown frame does, than the air frame, but we'll look at other things. Yeah, the UZ65, that's correct, Mike. That was it. And I have a, let me find it here in the stack. I have a Meteor 65 version, or Meteor 65 Pro version, but it's on a quad. There it is on an HD0 quad with the 35 millimeter props. So I think I could find one in all the rest of my frames, but
crown frame might be pretty nice for a fractal pusher.
Yeah, you could flip it over, trim this stuff off here, and you could flip it over and actually let it sit on the crowns. But I'm just, as far as looks and aesthetics on it and how it feels in the hand, I like it. I like the feel of it. One of the downsides to the Meteor 65.
I think the 65 Pro is actually a little lighter than the regular 65 frame. AA. Phatpastor smiling face with sunglasses.
Yes. Phatpastor smiling face with sunglasses. This is the Meteor 65 Pro frame, and it is, in my opinion, it's a little floppy. It makes the tune on this a bit difficult. So we can talk more about that in a little bit. This is supporting HD0. Most of my groups now, I am flying HD0 on them. Here is my go-to analog. My analog, which is just the standard Mobula 6 with the 0702 motors, 5 blades, 27,000.
I ran the products on the Regular 65 Fractal.
Yeah, I think it's the 27,000 kV. I don't know if you guys can read that or not, but that's kind of that was my go-to whoop racer for years, and I have made the change over to flying HD0.
No one likes a floppy, even floppy disk did not perform.
That's right. No, nobody likes them too floppy. So now that we've got the weights down, I think the heaviest was the cockroach frame. Then next was the the factory Mobula 6 frames, which, as you can see, I've pulled them off a lot of them. I think they lack a little bit in durability, in my opinion. They, if you've got a Mobula 6, when you've got that frame on it, fly it until it breaks. It's not bad. It's not a bad frame at all. None of these frames are bad frames. The next thing that I want to
Styled
look
after the B-Whoop, I believe.
after the B-Whoop. Yep. I think you're right. The old B-Whoop frames were the thing to get back in the day. So yeah. The next thing I want to look at is the width of the ducts. One thing about the cockroach duct, if you can see this
Except
here,
the cockroach can't even look at it without it breaking.
that the cockroach frame breaks quite a bit. And one of the things that I have to do to get the BT 2.0 batteries to stay in it, I don't know how well y'all can see that. I take a little black rubber band, like you can get for braces or whatever, and I put it, focus, and I wrap it around this so that it's got the rubber, so the battery doesn't slide out. The BT 2.0 batteries, especially these, which are nowhere near my favorites. I'm not going to speak illy of them, but they like to slide around in the cockroach frame quite a bit. And this is even the one with the rubber band in it. Try not to get these things all mixed up.
That is what those little rubber things are for.
Yeah, I've got a little package of rubber bands that I keep in there. But let's stay with frames. One of the things about the cockroach frame is
I think the Cockroach 75 came with little silicone bands for that reason.
Okay. Yeah. I had to end up putting them on there. If you notice the top of this duct, how it's flared out, this is different than most of your Meteor. Has got a little bit of flare on it. The stock Mobulas, I mean, just a tiny bit, not much at all. And your Meteor 65 Air, virtually none. It is at an angle, and the crown has got a little bit, as you can see here. It's angled out also. So, and that's just to help the airflow coming in. Let's look at the size of the ducts. .5 millimeters. Let me try to arrange this screen so you can see Zach and I. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I'll put it here. There we go. All right. There we go. So that was at 7.3, 7.4, 7.4 millimeters on the duct of the cockroach. Let's see what the width is on the stock Mobula 6, which is kind of it's a B-Whoop frame. 6.8. So this is thinner. A thicker duct, in my opinion, will cause you to have more yaw washout on your dives and power loops, things like that. This is the Meteor 65 V1.
Open Ski FPV. Hey guys.
Hey, Open Sky, how's it going, man? 4.6. So we went from what, 7? 7.4, 7.5, somewhere around there, to 4.6, 4.8, 4.8, 4.7, 6 there on the Meteor 60 frame. I think it's going to stay the same throughout the 4.6, 4.7 on the thickness of the ducts. Let's see, the air looks like it's going to be less, 3.6. So we dropped a whole millimeter off there. And let's look at the crown, 5, 4.8. So it's a little more beefy than the Air and even the Meteor 65. The next thing to look at is the spokes, if you will. That's what I call them, the supports. You can see the crown has 3, and the Air has 6, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to show this to you. The Air has actually got like, let me see if the white might show up a little better. It's actually got a little notch in there for your motor to set in, which will cause your motor to set down a little bit, just maybe a millimeter. Maybe you can see it when I pop it up here. See the little nibs right there? Let me grab my pointer so my big old meat hook isn't in the way. You can see that on camera. See if it show it up. Maybe you can see it over in this hand over here a little bit. It's actually got cut out where the motor will go in to the frame. I like that because the distance that the motor sits down in the props makes a difference. One of the selling points and one of the things that I'm going to be watching is the width here of the spar. That is 1.8, where in the Air, it's 1.5, not that much difference. And the Meteor, 1.7, 1.8. So it's about the same on it. The base here looks a little solid, a little more solid, where the motor hooks up at on the crown frame. The battery tray looks nice and solid. So you have 3 spokes against 6 spokes, and even the Air over here has the 6 spokes. It also has, the Air also has this little piece here, little triangle. If you can see it, it's turned down, like as to, I guess, help with the airflow, I guess, where the others are just kind of straight. The Air.
See, I was wondering if that was to like glue a camera to, maybe. Because I'd seen some people run the camera right here where that little tab is in between the hoops.
Yeah, like, well, we do it on the fractal frames, but we cut the whoops off of the frames on the fractal builds, and it's actually got a carbon fiber frame underneath it.
What does that rig weigh?
Well,
because I've just been curious how those carbon frames, like, can you get a low weight out of them like you can with these, or it's more of a flat characteristic thing because it's stiffer?
Well, I think it's more than just that, and that's what I hope to show tonight in this, that things aren't so cut and dry as some would say. Like, it's been said here recently. I've been sent the clips and all. Don't want to go into name calling, but it's been said here that silverware is in no way as good as Betaflight, because Betaflight's got more engineers and all of that. And anybody that would say that the fractal frames and that silverware is better. They're just either on the take or they're lying to you. Better is subjective. All that I can tell you is that heads, a friend of mine on Infinity Loops flies a 75 millimeter fractal.
Quicksilver is voodoo can't compare to Betaflight, so there.
I agree.
Lol, I wonder who said that.
But the proof's in the pudding. Heads can fly that 75 millimeter.
Right, lol.
Better than I've seen just about any. Well, I haven't seen anybody fly a whoop any better than heads from Infinity Loops. And he prefers, and Nick Burns prefers 75 millimeters indoors. And argue with their process, if you will, but you cannot argue with their results. This is 18.7. This is 18.7 grams for that, to answer your question, Zach. We'll get into more about full weighouts here in a little bit.
Him asking questions is all. Lol.
Yeah.
That's
interesting though, because this
and I'd never fly
is like
else.
20 grams. This Mobula that I frame swapped to the original Meteor 65 frame. And then this one, I think it was like 17 point something, almost 18 grams swapped to the airframe, but this one also has smaller motors too.
Yeah, it has the 0702s.
Yeah,
with bi-blades.
Yeah, and bi-blades. And this one's a tank on tri-blades, pretty much.
Right. And we'll Rabble Rotor says that he says, I've been racing Quicksilver for over a year and I'd never fly anything else. You know, I've heard a lot of people say that. I am saving this right here because this is the stock Betaflight that come on the Diamond IO. This is the motors, the camera, and the flight controller out of the Mobile. I looked up and got one of these diamonds that actually works, and I want to do a comparison with other people than just myself on flying this on stock Betaflight and then putting Quicksilver on it and flying it with Quicksilver, because I can tell you I did it with this. I did it with this is the Mobula 7, basically the same thing, the Diamond IO, but it has the 0802s on it, and this thing flew like, in my opinion, like crap on Betaflight. I just put the default Quicksilver on it and didn't know what I was doing and didn't mess with it, and just set it for 1S 75 millimeter whoop, and besides it asking for a 2S battery, which I put a rubber band in it. It flies a lot better, noticeably. I mean, I was shocked at the difference of just that Quicksilver made on this whoop. And you know, again, my results may vary from yours or whatever, but you know, it's I don't know if you guys can see it. I know you can't, but it's kind of like this. I play guitar, and I was telling somebody the other day, you know, a lot of people in this hobby, they have the same mentality that it's like this. If I go and buy the very same brand guitar
only flight firmware that with the Mob 7 with the X12 fly so damn good on the Betaflight, and he knew it flew like a drunkard.
Yeah. I'll post that here in just a second. It's like this with a guitar. People want to go out and they want to buy the very same guitar with the same strings and all of that Eddie Van Halen had, And they think, well, if I buy the same guitar and the same strings and the same amplifier that Eddie Van Halen have, I can play like Eddie Van Halen. No, the truth is Eddie Van Halen can take the crappiest guitar. Well, he could before he died. He could take the crappiest guitar and make it sound amazing because he's just good. And, some of this stuff here is, I believe, some of it's 6 one way, half dozen another way. And I'll explain to you why I get my thinking that way. Just like you can't buy a Mr. Steel quad and set it up just like he set it up and go out and fly like Mr. Steel. It's not going to happen. I mean, you can dream and wish that all you want to, but until you put the time in, until you got the stick time, and even some people, it don't matter how much stick time you put in, you're never going to get that good.
Solo on the Squire.
So, yeah, I mean, he could. And on a first act from Walmart, Eddie Van Halen could make it sound awesome. But in half of them, the neck's warped on them. So 8-Bit says Quicksilver was the only flight firmware that made the OG Mobile 7 with the X12 fly so dang good. On Betaflight and Emu Flight, it flew like a drunk. I have the
to fly like
Mobile 7.
You must engage seizure.
Yeah, and I have the Mobile 7. And I agree with that.
Ease of Quicksilver is for me. I imagine if I had the time, well, I have the time, okay, the body to let me focus on that kind of stuff, I would probably like Betaflight because of how tunable.
Yeah. Yes, a lot of people like Quicksilver, and
but Betaflight is really for someone that knows how to tune and tinker.
But some people would say, 8-Bit, that you are lying. And that, or you're being paid by Quicksilver or Fractal or someone to make those comments, when I just think that's divisive and foolishness to say that when there's people out there that...
Betaflight is better than Betaflight.
Yeah. Betaflight is better than Clean Flight. That's for sure. And on a Whoop, Betaflight is a whole lot better than iNav. But the whole thing is what do you want your quad for? What's important for you?
Paid by Big Quicksilver.
I have a buddy. He's in FPV. He has a YouTube and stuff. I think it's TC Moore. Give him a little shout out, but he flies a lot of Whoops, and he competes in the iGal stuff. And I asked him one day, I was like, "Dude, how are you flying your Whoop that? Because when I try to fly mine like that, it doesn't like it. It wigs out." And he told me to go get a Quicksilver. So
I've heard a lot of people say that,
and he said that's what he flies, and he said it works. He said you don't have to fool with it; you just put it on there and fly it.
My only experience with Quicksilver is this, and I did it at a race. This Mobile 7 flew like a bag of hammers, and I didn't like the way that it flew at all. And of course, it got tri-blades on it. This is pretty much the standard Betaflight on it. And I spoke with Heads. He told me that I should try Quicksilver. I didn't know much about it. I loaded it there in front of a couple of guys and had different people fly it also, and they all agreed that it now flies a lot better. And this is why I think this is the case. Quicksilver
can fly a broom if you wanted it to. I was conceived from a bag of hammers.
Well, I think Quicksilver focuses more...
I wanted to try Quicksilver again, but I just couldn't get it to work. It's almost like Quicksilver itself would just randomly lock up.
Yeah, well, I think Quicksilver focuses more on whoops and micro, where Betaflight focuses more on 5-inch, 7-inch, 3-inch type stuff. And there's a lot of difference between this and a 5-inch freestyle quad. And I'm not knocking Betaflight at all. I use Betaflight.
Hey,
I'm thankful for the people, for the devs and stuff in.
so
That's all right. I'm thankful for the devs and stuff in Betaflight. I'm not knocking any of them. I'm not, and I'm not going to knock any of these frames here on the
Even
table in
clips
front of
swapping
us.
5 inches over to Quicksilver are saying how good they like it.
Yeah, I've even heard that too. I've even heard people saying that they like Quicksilver on 5-inch quads also. And so, yeah, I think there's an awful lot in this hobby of, well, I'm just going to say, I think there's an awful lot. I don't look in the camera. I think there's an awful lot of narcissists in this hobby. You got to have a certain level of stubbornness to stay in this hobby with the changes going on and rebuilding and things like that. You got to have a certain level of stubbornness to you to survive in this hobby. But then there's another level where people uh, they get some information, they get some experience, and I've seen pastors do it. Uh, you know, it's not just in this hobby where they get a little bit of
I
experience.
raced Quicksilver on my Tinner Trainer all summer and have it on my 5 inches.
Yeah, but then once you start to gain some knowledge in it, if you're not careful, you can become narcissistic, thinking that you have all the answers, and just because you prefer something, that's the way that it is. I prefer HD0. I don't hide that. I like HD0. I even like HD0 on a Whoop, and but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that analog. I like analog too. I'm not going to say analog's bad. I'm not going to sit here and say that which on a 65 millimeter DJI is just not. It's just not there. But so let me get into. Let's talk about, since we're talking about it, the flight control software right now, and
Phatpastor can be tuned to fly as good as Quicksilver, but how many know how to tune and what to tune, and how much time will it take to get the tune anywhere near Quicksilver?
I agree with that. I agree with that, 8-bit, that you can get, and
everything has its place.
Yeah, yes, and it. What do you want? It's like this. A stock car, NASCAR, is not going to do good. I mean, you can race a stock car, NASCAR, on an IndyCar track. They do it, but side by side with an IndyCar, the IndyCar is going to run off and leave it. You put that IndyCar on a dirt track against legend cars or a dirt track car, and it's going to underperform. So what situations are you flying it in? If you're flying around in your house and you're power looping a cube, or you're vanny rolling down the hall or something like that, I think that's very different than that's neat. I don't know how that showed up there, but whoever did that little light bubble, that was pretty neat. I don't know if you guys saw that, but did you see that? That kind of showed up on my screen.
Yeah.
Like a yeah, I saw it. Saw it here on my phone. That's pretty neat. So, yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. I've never seen that before.
I saw that.
Never seen that before. But hey, hit that like button, and
yes.
So if you're liking the content, so maybe it'll do it whenever people hit the like button. So, but yes, I agree with the comment that 8-bit made about you can get Betaflight to fly just as good as Quicksilver, or you can put Quicksilver on a quad and it probably fly like crap.
Hey Marty, what is moving in the background? That a printer?
Yes, that is my A1. That is my A1 Mini. I'm actually printing a vase for my daughter. I've been using the fire out of it.
Oh, it's an A1.
Yep, it's the A1 Mini, and
Sweet. I didn't know you had that.
Yeah, I just got it. I showed it on the stream a couple weeks ago. A friend of mine, who this one of these is going out to, went in half on it with me, and I'm printing some stuff for him, and this one's mine. Another thing that I printed today that is cool, I'll show y'all that since I'm on a squirrel.
I am printing like crazy with my Page 1S. It's such a machine. Marty, remember that TinaView Plus I mentioned last week? I've posted a demo video I did in post videos for the live stream.
All right, let me read that again, Kiss. Marty, remember that TinyView Plus I mentioned last week? I posted a demo video and the post videos for the live stream. All right, we'll watch it here in a little bit. You guys remind me to watch that. I printed this. Some of you may be familiar with these. If you've been to a race with me, I use them quite regularly. You turn the batteries one way when they're charged, and the other way when they're full.
Blizzard FPV. Hello world.
And yeah, so I'm printing these now. Blind Sasquatch printed these for me, give these to me. Big shout out to him. But now
I've been taking advantage of my immobility and learning about wings and planes, aerodynamics, brushing up on that, and wing surfaces and types and whys and what forests.
Yes, learning about wings and stuff will actually help you.
That's cool. Battery box. I saw Kiz.
Yeah, let me turn it this way. Yeah, you take your battery when it's fully charged. You turn it, I guess, perpendicular to what you're seeing here, and then when it's empty, you turn it the other way.
That a bit too.
And yeah, there it is. Whoop batteries. Just printed in 2 colors.
Nipples.
And prints at about 4.5 hours on the A1 Mini at 100 speed. So, yeah. Take advantage of my mobility and learn.
I thought I caught that in time.
Excuse me. Some of this, okay. Oop. All right. Let me get back to what we were talking about. The flight control software. I will say I think Betaflight came.
Sometimes.
Yes. Yep. Thanks, man. I may give one away at a race or something like that coming up. I will say that Betaflight has done pretty good lately with their stock tune, because I built this one the other day, and this is an HD0 with LEDs on the sides of it, 65 millimeter whoop with 0702 motors on it, 20. It's got 32,000 kV on it. No, 30,000. This one has 30,000 kV on it. We'll talk about kV here in just a second. And
because Emma Flight Crew is now part of Betaflight, right?
Because Emu Flight Crew is now part of Betaflight. Someone told me that. So they're starting to get there with the whoops. This has the stock. This one and my other HD0. I have 3 HD0 racers. It has 32,000 kV motors on it, and both of them are running the stock.
At the Hummingbird V3. Do you have one, Martin?
No, I do not have the Hummingbird V3. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of the newbie drone stuff because the motors don't. They have different motor plugs, and as you can see, I like to try different motors, and none of these would plug in to, unless they change that in the V3, but none of these would plug into the old Hummingbird plugs. They were just different sizes and were heavy. The V2 was as heavy as my HD0.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the TinnerView source code up and running locally so I can modify it and build on it. Meanwhile, I'm waiting for the nuclear hazard guy to get back to me about the kit he is selling.
Cool. Nuclear hazard. I think you'll like it. Kid.
Thanks, Marty.
But
I think it has solder pads.
Solder pads. Okay, on the new V3, maybe. Yeah, I've actually not looked into that, so I can't tell you. I've heard and what little bit I've talked to the people at Newbie Drone, they focus on making a whoop that you don't have to do a whole lot to it. You take it out of the package, you bind it, you put the battery in it, and it flies. And so, yeah. Yes, nuclear hazard is amazing. I like it. Those of you that watched last week know that I'm a big proponent of it. This is
nanoreactors on a whoop.
This is an 8
My
node.
kind of whoop grinning face.
Right. So let's talk about motors, and then we're going to talk about motors, frames, and all of that together in a whole package. And what I think certain packages are more suited for. As you can see, I have here lots of tiny whoop motors. Have Weebly motors too, but some of them are on my quads.
Why are there no such thing as nanoreactors, or are they?
Why is there no such thing? Nano reactor on. Brother, I have no idea. I couldn't tell you that.
There could be and should be.
Could be and should. Yeah. Let me slide back over so that the thing's not always on his.
Why industrial sized?
Well, that would work, but I'd have to like lean over here the whole time. And let's see if we do it that way.
Whoop. He not into it 8-bit low.
I still have to lean over now. Okay.
Maybe you need to put yourself where I am.
All right, that'll work.
You could probably slide your whoop thing over and put me off to the other side so the motors are. There you go.
There we go. So, like I said, I've not flown this. Look for more information coming soon. As you can see, I've got the stuff to build one, and I'm probably going to build one out sooner than later. All right. Here's the fad now, and I will tell you in my opinion, the issue. I don't want to call it a problem, just the issue with it. It's like the Weebly Screamers and the Moon Travelers. This is an 0702 32,000 kV motor. Here's an 0802 30,000. What are these? The EX 30,000s and 26,000, 27,000. This is just to list a few. I've got fully installed whoops here we're going to talk about in a little bit. But here's what I've noticed, and you guys can correct me in the chat if you've noticed something different. I don't intend to be I don't claim to be a know-it-all.
That in public. Batteries have nightmares of high kV monsters. Oh wait.
Or
Fat. Oh.
Yeah. I don't claim to be a know-it-all or a king at anything, or a pro pilot. I'm just an enthusiast. That makes pretty awesome shirts.
That's the latest idea on nuclear power. They want many small reactors that won't be as bad in Meltdown's 8-bit.
Oh, you're talking about nuclear reactors and whoops. I'm following you guys now. Okay. Yeah. Got my head out of the sand.
You do have experience, though. You can offer that.
I have flown a buttload of tiny whoops.
Marty is a chap who spreads the good word to the good people.
Yeah, thank you. This is still one of my favorites.
Least the thought right there, that craft is good start.
This is still one of my all-time favorites, guys. And big shout out to Jesse Perkins and Tiny Whoop. This awesome. Is the old Inductrix board. It's angle only, and I like it. It's not for sale. It won't ever be for sale. There's one of those little rubber bands. You see.
I've got one of those old Inductrix boards too, Marty.
Yep. And this has got the Carbon X under it. This little thing here, man. I tell people I could fly this thing up the northbound end of a southbound goose.
You don't have to be a know-it-all. You're the only Phatpastor we want to hang out with.
There we go. Hurrah! For those of you that have seen Blazing Saddles, give me a hurrah.
That was the start of... Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Zach.
I was going to say that was the start of FPV for me.
Nano, we have the possibility of doing it available in this world.
It was
nano reactors,
a Blade Nano QX. I think it was like a little 2-inch.
Right.
Like a guard drone. It had like the Blade board in it, little 1S thing, and that's how all this got started.
Yeah, the first FPV that I flew well on my own was the OG Inductrix that Jeff Russell has. He has it. We just put motors on it at the last race that I was at.
Hurrah.
So let's get back to talking about motors for a minute, and let me tell you what I think. As a Phatpastor, and not as a pro at nothing. As the chat says, these 32,000 kV motors and the screamers and the bleeders, they're awesome. Let me show you here what they're good for, in my opinion. This is now those are 0802s. That is what I would call my freestyle whoop. This thing is juiced up, charged up, ready to go. I mean, I got the rates turned up high, somewhere up around 800-900, maybe even closer to 1,000, so that I can MADI and power loop and do all those kind of things. But if I was to try to fly this just like it's set up, and it's analog, I would have a hard time. My camera angle's turned up probably 40, maybe 45 degrees on this, and this thing just, I mean, it's a screamer. But like I said, if I was trying to race this, I'd suck, because it's too much. And I've heard that a lot from people that have ran out and that they get the 32,000 or even the 27,000 kV motors or 26,000 kV motors. I'm noticing people putting a throttle limit on it to race them. And I think it kind of defeats the purpose there, in that aspect, to do that. because I mean, just put a 19,000 kV. If you are going to race in the underground Whoop League, you will be limited to 19,000 kV motors and 31 millimeter props on a 65 millimeter frame, and you'll be limited to a certain set of motors that you can use. That's because it's a league and all of that. Now, I have a set of the Moon Travelers on one of my. Let me see, where is it? One. I think it's probably the one with the Moon Traveler sticker on it. What do y'all think? Maybe. Yeah. Here. This is my newest racer. It's HD0. Flying the ORT antenna on it, and it has the Moon Travelers on it. And I've got the blue LEDs. Yes, I know it adds a little bit of weight to it, but it's cool. And I'm not good enough for this difference in weight to mess me up. I'm nowhere near T-Dog kind of good. So let me go ahead. Ask a question. Go ahead.
That's the one I flew, wasn't it?
Yes.
At the Soki race.
Yes.
I like that, even though I thought it was going to fly kind of crappy because of the extra weight. Because I know whoops are, generally speaking, especially 65 millimeter whoops, a half a gram or a gram makes a difference. And but the tune on that thing is sweet, and it flew just as good to me as an analog, if not better.
See you later. And
I think my buddy Matthew Tweezy FPV just got him a HD0 whoop, and he says it flies better than his analog whoop. He loves it. So
yeah, I think that is the voice chat stop. Let's see. I might have hit a button that made it stop, and not knowing what I was doing. I think I did. Let me turn it back on.
I was struggling with this one at that race. I've had a rough time getting this one dialed in to fly the way that I want it to fly.
I have 2 Inductrix drones, both
but
on
when I did,
TSMX, but making them smaller is a better idea than making for giants like before. When and who made the world's first steam-powered quadcopter? Gotta remove the lead out of the foot for those. There was that 15-year-old kid that built a nuclear reactor in his garage while his single
we gotta let Jarvis catch up.
Who used to race those
paused it somehow.
Doesn't understand the appeal on the insanely high kV motors. I think the highest he goes is 25. It was in Arizona bit 10 years ago. Gotta go. See ya, Marty. Crab.
We'll see you, Philippe.
Crab.
That was my test. Okay. Yes. Now you were saying. Go ahead, Zach. Talking about your friend.
I forgot what I was saying now. Oh, I was saying when I flew this one, I was struggling with it at the race, and then I flew the HD0 one, and it was way easier for me to put it where I wanted it to go. Which this one in particular has been a problem child for me. I've had a rough time getting it to fly like I want it to fly. And this one, which it's down right this second with a motor, but this one flies great. And I was just, the HD0 one overall just surprised me.
Right.
And I think I want to try to Quicksilver this to see if it helps it.
Right. Here's what my experience has led me to. I've heard people say that you can't race HD0, it's too heavy, all of this kind of stuff, and that's just it's just not true. You can, and I do. But it's like what I believe it was Bitterroot. Someone said it earlier about putting the walk snail on a 75 millimeter, and that it didn't have enough power. It was hovering at like 60%. I can't go back in the chat see it, but my experience is when it flies a little bit heavier, put some more powerful motors on it, because it's going to do basically the same thing as a throttle curve. And there goes the bubble again. Thank you, whoever liked that. And so let's get some weights, and we'll talk a little bit about the weight of a whoop and what difference that makes. The kV of a motor is basically the RPMs. When you multiply the voltage of the battery times the kV, you'll get the RPMs of the motor. Basically, how fast prop will spin. So let's look at some standards here, and let me start. I don't want to start with HD0. I want to start with what did I do with it? What did I put HD0 here. Bear with me. Well, give me just a second to find it, guys. I'll be laying whoops out everywhere now. And big shout out to Scott and Steven for this. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but this is a whoop case they made for me. Lights up with Phatpastor on it. I think that's pretty cool. It's got a little LED light in it. So, squirrel. More whoop. I'm looking for the OG Mobula.
Has anyone did amp draw compare on the new HD whoops stuff? Sitting idle amp draw testing, I bet there is a big difference and also a difference in how that energy is transferred flying.
I know that HD0 on these batteries, the BT 2.0 batteries, they're toward the end of it. It sucks them down a little faster than an analog. Make sure I don't have left in here. Okay, then it's got to be here somewhere. Another one. Another one.
Monday's Christmas, isn't it?
Yeah. There. Oh, it fell in the floor. I was about to step on it. Oh, and that one.
Why? Were you getting me some hamburgers?
Yeah.
Found another one on the floor. Okay. Let's start with the OG Mobula 6. Now, it's going to be a little bit heavier because I've got LEDs on it, and I put a little bit longer BT 2.0 on it. But this is the one from the factory that's got the flight controllers in backwards.
Nowadays, make a huge difference in how things perform.
So this is the weight of this one is 19.8 grams. I don't know if you guys can see that. You guys see that on the screen? Well, now it's
that's a
20.
stock LRS Mobula 6.
Well, it's got LEDs on the corners of it. So,
okay. I flew that one too, didn't I?
Yeah. This is the one that you actually test flew before buying the other one, and it's got the 4 LEDs on the side of it. I will
Unless
sacrifice.
the travel time for the signal back to FC becomes an issue. IDK, open thought.
They should start making, unless the signal travel time. I don't think it's an issue. One of the things that I like about HD0 is the latency is lower. So let's look at this. 19.8 grams for the OG Mobula 6 with LEDs placed on it. So next thing, I'll weigh the Mobilite or the Mobeetle on the Fractal. It's actually lighter at 18.6 with the carbon frame on it. So it's lighter than the OG. And next we will go, this is the stock Mobula 6 HD0 with an elongated plug on it for this. As you guys see, it's pretty bright headlight. So it is going to be heavier than what the stock Mobula 6 is, but it's going to weigh out at 25 grams. So it's a little beefy. And this has the 19,000 0802 stock motors on it, which I flew this in the race after I had a failure on this one. I don't remember what it was. I crashed into something messed up. I started flying this one and finished the race with the stock Mobula 6. Now it has a clear Meteor 65 frame on it, and you can see I lengthened that lead by quite a bit, and it's got an LED on the back of it, so it made it heavier.
It's actually impressive that thing's only 25 grams with HD0.
Yeah, and here's the one. Here's the one that I was racing primarily last time, and it is 24.6. Now this has the Moon Traveler's 32,000 kV motors on it, but when I'm racing with it, I limit it to 80% throttle limit because it's too much. We do a thing at the race. Some of you might remember when you're watching some of the races live called Beggars Canyon, where we run LEDs underneath the church pews. And it's hard because your distance is probably 17 inches maybe. And it's hard to keep that level. Now I built this one. This one is just like the blue one, except for it's red and it has red LEDs. I don't have a red canopy for it though. Jesse, you need to dye some red canopy, or I need to take them out and spray paint them. It also has LEDs, red LEDs on it, and Kapton tape. I use a lot of Kapton tape in between the HD0 board and the flight controller. And now the difference in between these two is this one's running the beta FPV F4 1S, and this one's running the same Super B F4 Lite by Happy Model. So it's got a different, we'll see what they are difference in weight between the two, because they're identical in every way except for the flight controllers. The Beta Flight, what I weighed earlier, or the Beta FPV, 32,000 motors on it, 24.7, 24.6, what it said last time. Let's see what it says for this one. 23.8. So it's even lighter because this one's got the plugs on it where you plug the motors in, and this is soldered in. And I've not raced this one yet. This one's a new, fresh build. So, and this one has 0702, I believe 30,000 kV motors on it. This has got 32,000. I've motor limited this down to 80 also. And now the difference is I'm not running the ORT on this one yet. I probably will switch it out. I just prefer the ORT antenna over the stock rubber ducky antenna. But what I've noticed in flight comparison between this, which was my OG racer at 19.7 grams, as opposed to what the last one I flew was 21.5. Is that right? 21.5. All right, 24. That's right. I thought 21 was a little bit. So what are we looking at? 5 grams? 5 grams difference in weight. But with these stronger motors on it, I actually I like the way this flies over this because I can throw this just a little bit further. It's kind of like your 5-inch. If you got strong enough motors on your 5-inch, and say you're running a what Zach, you're more into 6S 5-inch than I am. What's an average weight? 600 grams for a freestyle.
Like all up with the battery, most freestyle rigs. I mean, really, it varies just depending on where you go, like toward the extreme of lightness or the extreme of durability. But if you land kind of in the middle, you're all up weights, usually 600 to 700 grams without a GoPro, somewhere in there.
Okay. And if my understanding with that is if you got strong enough motors on it and a strong enough ESC, they can fly similar to each other. They have, but when you've got a little bit more mass, it's like this. If I was to take a sheet of aluminum foil, 8.5 by 11, and crumple it up into a ball, and take a sheet of paper that's tossability, a sheet of paper that's 8.5 by 11, and fold it up, and was to be able to apply with like a catapult or something the exact amount of force on the same size, the same mass wad of paper wad or ball, the aluminum would go further. And is it like it likes to put it on my face? You notice that? The little bubble, it likes to throw it right on my face. But squirrel, the aluminum foil would go further than the paper wad. But if you was to take the same sheet and fold it into an airplane, the aluminum versus the paper, and put a little tiny 1S motor on it to blow that around, the paper would take less kV to fly it than the aluminum would.
Right.
But to me, it's simply solved by going with a little bit hotter motor. That's how that's how I have solved the weight issue between sub 20 gram tiny whoops and above 20 gram, sub 26 gram HD0 whoops. This is analog, and it has crazy strong motors on it, and this thing will just, it was actually too much on bi-blades. I had bi-blades on it at first, and it just, it was just wild and like
Why
all
the
over the
V8 guys
place.
had to come up with the LS to perform along with the VTEC.
I just run into that though. I built my new 5-inch drone, and I was thinking it was substantially lighter than my the other 5-inch drone that I've been flying, and I flew it. I didn't know for sure what it weighed, and it flew like way lighter in the throttle. Just it flew better all around, and I was like, man, this thing's got to be like 60 grams lighter, 70 grams lighter, or something, the way it flies. Well, it turns out it was only 20 grams lighter, but the big difference
Weight
on the
placement can
drone
make a difference as
is
well.
the motors. I went with 1980 kV motors on this build on 6S, which is really high, and normally I run 1800 kV. So I think it was the motor kV made up for some of the weight, and it made it fly like it was a lighter quad.
Mm-hmm.
Basically like you were saying. But it blew my mind that it made that big of a difference, because on a 5-inch 20 grams is nothing. I mean, it's something, but it's not.
Well, for me at least anyway, I like the clarity of the HD0 and the latency of Express LRS. To me, they go well together. I'm used to flying that on my tiny trainers and on the Racer X, and so it works for me. Now, with this one here with 32,000 kV motors on it, this thing will scream. This thing will fly faster on a track than I can fly it. So now I'll share this with you guys too. Here's another HD. This is my HD0 freestyler. It kind of compares to the analog freestyler here. I've got the little small, I don't know if you can see it, the small antenna inside of that. And
I want to get one of those.
Believe it or not, it gets less range than the stock rubber ducky that comes on. And all that this is the stock Mobula stick put in the Meteor 65 Pro frame. And this has the 35 millimeter props on it. And
so you're saying the whip antenna does better than that True RC?
It did for the SMO, which is just it's almost like a little piece of paper. I don't know. Let me make the screen bigger. Which it's kind of delicate in there. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah.
Right there. Just
barely. Yeah.
And it doesn't get the range being in there in the canopy for me, the best results, and I've actually got, I can show you guys this, and some of you would just say, oh, that's sacrilegious, Marty, or whatever. I don't care. You guys do you, I do me. So, I have these. Let me get it out without making a big mess. I have several of these. Like 3 of these. They've been on quads before. Aaron Ciotti likes them, highly recommends them. I don't get any increased range from this or any better video quality than I do from the ORT or even the rubber ducky. Now, what will happen, like with this, you see how this rubber ducky is bent over? What will happen is it will fray right here. And when it gets broken, where's my stick? especially if you're at a race and you're bleeding over on everybody else, check it. Because if this gets broken right in there, that wire, how that's been over, you'll start blasting on all kinds of freaky channels. But this, I have 3 of these in my Whoop box that I don't use because they're heavier, and I don't get on HD0. I don't get any better performance out of them. Now, maybe I would if it was on. And see, here's the SMO. I'll compare the 2 of them. Let's just do a little comparison there.
Oh, okay. So this is 2 different, separate antennas. I figured you're talking about.
See, this here, you can see where it kind of bent right there.
Yeah.
It's basically a little PCB wrapped around another PCB, and it is light. Let's see if it'll even register.
So does that get good performance or no?
0.3 grams.
Wow.
It doesn't get bad.
The whip antenna weighs. The whip antenna probably weighs that.
There's the 0.7, 0.8, so it's double the weight of this. Put my fingers on there.
But you said it was delicate.
Yeah, it's fragile.
So you need to like sticky tape it somewhere.
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I've not fought it enough. So 0.3. We can just look at them. Let's go with the Hoss here first. When I say a Hoss, it's 0.7. Small is 0.3. The standard Mobula 6 dipole 0.5. So it's heavier in between the 2.
Wow.
And the ORT, probably the Big Daddy, 0.5. It's the same. So, in your light to heaviness factor. Oh, no. I dropped that in the abyss. Let me grab my magnet, see if I can find it. Yes, everybody needs one of these.
First try. I do need one of those. I drop little screws all the time.
Yes. Oh, you don't even have to search for this. Just take the thing and run the carpet like a metal detector and come up with all kinds of goodies. So, from light to heaviest, this is what you got. Now, this one, I don't think I have one. Let me look. That comes on stock on the Mobula is even lighter. I need to increase my Whoop box. Yeah, got one. Nope. Hey, this is my Whoop container. I got everything in the world in there. I thought I had one, but I can't. Right here it is. I do have one. We got another contender in here. So 3, 5, 7, right? 3, 5, 7.
3.3. Wow.
So this is what comes on the Mobula 6 HD0. This is the antenna that comes on it. And I can say from experience that these 2, with this one sticking out of how it sticks out of the top, I get further outdoor range with this antenna than I do the right-hand circular polarized. See the R there? I don't know if you can see the R side of it. Come on. But this is right-hand circular polarized. But, I mean, see, I'm mal-shaping that, just messing with it. So all that it is just a little.
Ultra light little.
Yeah. It's just got a PCB board inside of it, and it might work better with analog, but you have to remember on my HD0 goggles, I got 2 patch antennas and 2 circular polarized antennas. So if it's broadcasting a signal, I'm not hurting at 25 milliwatts to pick that up.
Right.
Do the HD systems use right hand?
I mean, I've been really impressed because back when I started with analog, a lot of these binding flies, especially the micros, had VTXs that were just, compared to what we have now, horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Tiny Hawks, they had like a lot of white flashing on the original Tiny Hawk.
Right.
And the video on these Mobulas is like, it's perfectly clear for what I'm doing. I don't fly them outside much, but in the house, I don't have any breakup no matter where I go in my house.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for the $19.99 super chat, McFlies. I appreciate that.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah, greatly appreciated. Merry Christmas to you too. But to answer your question, 8-bit
much improved though slowly.
Do the HD systems use right-hand circular polarized? I have right-hand circular polarized on my HD0 goggles.
DJI is left-hand, I believe.
Zero seems to be the only HD right-hand 8.
Yeah. Well, I mean, these are... I don't really know what the ORT is. I still think it's
I thought, but I was not
Omni.
Sure.
I think it's Omni. So I think most of them are Omni. What you shouldn't get is good. In theory, I should get a lot better range out of a right-hand circular polarized antenna with right-hand circular polarized antennas on my goggles.
Covering the other ones was hard to tell if was left or right.
What's that? This here?
HD systems.
Yeah. The ORT, I don't think it says. I don't think it specifies whether I don't think they're left or right. I think they're Omni. And this is clearly right-hand polarized. And I just know that the True RC here, this is the right-hand circular polarized. So, but I have right-hand circular polarized on my goggles. And it doesn't seem to make a difference. I have a Menace RC patch that I could put on it that is dipole, and just for whoops, I'm not running out of signal. It's not a problem for me on HDZ. So and I've got the 1S HD0 that I plan on putting in a freestyle build, but I've not put it in, so I don't know. There's probably where I would tell the difference, where I would notice the difference between a mismatch of antennas. And for those of you that are new and listening and watching, radio signal will circle, and that's called right-hand circular polarized, or an Omni. It will come from this, and it'll be like a beacon, like you see a radio tower would. It just goes every direction. That's an omnidirectional. And a dipole it goes along the linear pole of it, and it has voids or nulls at the end of it. So and left hand, it spins left hand. So in tiny whoops, I know a lot of times when people are racing tiny whoops, they were having a problem. I think it was year before last, at a club or a restaurant or something, and Evan and them was there, and he had everybody just take their antennas completely off their goggles because people was getting multipath and they were getting signal bleeding over and all of that. And when people took their antennas off and they just left their modules to pick up, it did better. So whoops are different. It's a different bird there than what most people are used to in FPV. So yeah. So the antennas, let's go back to this. Let me make this bigger. So the antennas go these two here, I don't know if you can see it, 3.3 millimeters. These two here, 0.5 millimeters, and this is 0.7. They're all under 1 gram, and I don't think they would. Most people in a whoop, you're not going to notice the difference. Maybe an analog, you will, but I'll be flying outside around trees and back behind the house and all of that. But I haven't noticed it in the whoop world. It's just not been a problem for me, especially with HD0. So yeah, that's my findings. That's my experience. And the HD0 goggles do not come with antenna. You can set them up with right hand, left hand, circular polarized, whatever you've got. You can do that. So yeah. Now let me put these antennas up. For me, the For me, the 32,000, the plus 20. I can remember when this Mobula came out. It came out at 19,000 kV and 26,000, was it, or 28,000? I don't remember which one it was. It was one of the two, and it was when we was at the race, and I was racing against guys that were a lot faster than I was. Most of the faster pilots started motor limited and knocking that 20,000+ kV motor down to something more manageable for a whoop race. So what
kV?
It was the first Mobley, I think it was 26 or 28,000 kV, and the other one, they had one that was 19,000, and the other one was called the Race, and it was 28,000 kV or whatever. But all of us were motor limiting it. When we got to the Race and started flying it, we realized that it was too much. It's you have too much bobble up and down with it, and it made it difficult to be precise and accurately fly the chords. And so for racing, what I would recommend is, if you're gonna beef one up, be it walk snail or HD0 or even analog.
Higher kV motor limited and to use the exact kV.
Well, what you can do with this though is you can set up a rate profile and have like one for race. 8-bit said here, he said that he would prefer, although I prefer a higher kV motor limited it. You're I think he's saying you're basically why buy a higher kV motor if you can't race with it? With this one, I can set a rate profile up on it. That rate profile 1 would be for racing, and if I wanted to take it outside and Matty flip it or go crazy with it, I could turn it on another rate profile that turns my PIDs way up, unlimits the motors, and I could freestyle. So, but as you guys see here, I'm not hurting for HD0 race whoops. I got 5, and now of course this one right now flies like
I
crap.
would rather use 27 kilovolts limited to 19 kilovolts than use a 19 kilovolt motor, kinda how I am trying to say lol.
Is that a 65 Pro frame?
This one? Yes. You notice, if you can see close right here on it, the HD0 stack that VTX hangs over it a little bit.
Oh yeah.
It does, and but this I'm gonna have to take this up to the newest beta flight because I'm having a hard time getting a tune that flies right on this. It either goes from being very floaty or it's got a bunch of noise in it, and it's just difficult to. This tune has been very problematic for me. So,
well, maybe you should emu flight it and all. Emu flight this one, or not emu flight, Quicksilver.
Yeah, I've thought about that. That's what Heads has recommended that I do. And hey, somebody that flies a whoop as good as he does, regardless of what you think about, people may think about him personally or whatever. I think he's a great guy myself. You can't take away that Heads has got some mad whoop flying skill. That's just, in my opinion, it how can you question?
Oh yeah, I mean the dude's
he with a 75 millimeter, he's maddying himself.
Once you plant an avocado seed, they will produce
in his house with probably 8
Yeah.
foot ceiling.
That's correct, right?
I mean, that would be, I'm real comfortable doing stuff on a 5-inch, but that would be like doing a like a power loop in a parking garage or something.
Yeah. So I don't fat shame PH. AT fat shame. I'm going to show you guys the porker of the bind and fly whoops right here. The Mobula 6, 27.1 grams.
That's a porker.
That is the HD one that has the Cadec HD board in it. It is a porker, but it's good to fly. What got on it? 19,000 0802X 19,000 kV motors on it. But it's good to fly through your whoop course to get you some HD video for it.
Yeah.
1080 nice HD video.
That would be cool.
But that's it, except for my loaner quads that I've got out to other people. Wait. And here we are. There's the whoops. And
I think I need to work on my whoop collection.
They all fly different, and well, these two I hope fly really close to the same. I may tonight, while I'm thinking about it, go ahead. I didn't realize I had another ORT antenna. I'm probably going to change this antenna out and go with the ORT antenna. But it's the same weight as this antenna. These two, if you remember, they're both 0.5 grams. So, yeah. That is my whoop collection. That is my take on tiny whoops. I will let you guys know about the airframe I've not flown the Meteor 65 airframes. I've got 2 of them, and I have not flown the Crown frame yet, and I intend to fly them soon. I don't just change whoop canopies for the sake of just changing whoop canopies, because the electronics on these little whoops are so finicky that you can jack them up. I know there's some people that pull them in and out of everything and taking them, putting them in 75 millimeters and putting them in this and that. My experience is the more you pulling these things in and out, especially if they're plugged, if you've got plugs on your motors, then you're decreasing your longevity. Thank you, Pastor. Merry Christmas to you. Yes, Merry Christmas. Thank you for the $9, $10 super chat. Thank you, brother. So, yeah, that's my take on the whoops. I do plan on sometime this winter. I do plan on doing a deeper dive into Quicksilver and being able to test that for myself, see how I like it, what I like about it, what I don't like about it. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that there's going to be a video of that coming out real quick, because I still got flights from this summer where I flew the 90 frames per second HD0 on the Tiny Trainer that I've not even made a video of that yet, because I don't have the time. Let's talk a little bit before we get off of Whoop. I'll talk a little bit about props. The other big screen here again. Props and canopies. Right now, my favorite 2 canopies are the Mobula 6 canopy and the HD0 canopies. I like those. They work for me. I've got a buttload of them. I do not use quad blade props. There's nothing that I'm flying quad blade on. I either use tri-blade 31 millimeter props or bi-blade 31 millimeter props, and got some extra 0802 motors.
I was going to ask you, since you just brought up the canopy, this Mobula that I have, I don't know if everybody can see that, doesn't have the front post, but this one does.
Yeah. Like this one?
Yeah. So is the one with the post, I guess that one's probably more like desirable if you ever buy backups?
I think so. And let me just say that I agree with Nick Burns on that it's better. Here is the one without the post on the front of it. And here's one with the post on the front of it. And let's see the difference in the weight. Is it a weight issue? How much weight are we going to save by taking the one? Of course, you got to add a screw to it also. So,
where did you get that blue one? Was Tiny Whoop has the blue canopies?
I don't know if it was Tiny. It was either Tiny Whoop or Weebly. 0.7 for the one with 4 screws, and look at there, 0.7 with 3 screws.
Cool.
There's no difference in weight saving.
Weight penalty.
Yep, at all. And here's the 2. Yeah,
Another
I think
question.
Go ahead.
Can you snip any of these things out here to save weight, or would you not do that?
I wouldn't, because who was it that did that? I didn't do it, but a guy in our
Just
group
durability
on our
improvement.
on our Discord. By the way, let me promote that while I'm talking. I'll move my big fat head up here. The Discord is free, guys. I want to encourage you to join it. Zach and I, Casey, if you guys been missing him on the channel, he's going through some stuff right now, health-wise, emotional-wise, family, just personal. That's why I'll say that, not family, but personal-wise. Just drop over on his channel. He was here in the chat, but I've not seen him in a while. But we get on Discord at night, and we we talk about all of this stuff. We just sit, and sometimes we just get on and do Tiny Whip Go.
Merry Christmas, and everyone have a safe and happy New Year.
Yeah.
There's Casey. Like there's Casey. He's
almost
listening.
like an evening
and
ritual for us now. Like we get on and we'll build or just talk, or we might get on the scene.
Plan a race, what we're going to do. Which planning a race reminds me, something I want to show you guys.
KC said, "What up one day to me? I was going through so much pain, then I'm behind in jet and back. Oh hey."
Yeah. Casey said, "What up one day to me when I was going through so much pain. I'm behind getting back." There you go, man. That's it. We all fall down. The question is do you stay down? Get back up. That's been my motto to people. But I want to show you guys.
Brother, it's so good to see you and to hear that.
Yeah. And there's Casey there. He's so good to hear that. He could use some words of encouragement right now, guys. So let me show you here.
Thumbs up with light skin tone.
Yeah. Something here that I just made. I kind of like it, and I'm going to play my video on my channel, and that remind me to go to, I think it was Bitter Roots on the Discord, but we're going to play mine first because I know that audio is not copyrighted.
I can barely move most days lately. Today the pain let up enough to let me hang out log.
This is a tunnel that I made. That's a 20-inch dog tunnel. According to multi-GP, a standard whoop gate should be at least 19 inches in diameter across.
I can't wait to fly through that. That was awesome.
The thing about this is I can turn it. I can make it at like a 45-degree angle, and that's what I plan on doing. That's why I'm calling it the wormhole or the Mortal Kombat wormhole, because it's probably going to finish you.
So you'll have to fly through it at an angle. Finish
him. Fly through it and turn.
Have to descend through it?
Or descend or go up with it. Like I said, I told you earlier today, I meant to go by the church and practice with it and see what it's like to fly through it. But actually, I spent 2 nights while we were on Discord talking with a needle, a sewing needle, and 25-pound test fishing line. And I sewed the lights to the outside of the tunnel. So there's no snagging on the lights on the inside. And it all collapses up into the little bitty case. And yeah, my plan with it is to kind of make it like this. you fly into it and it's going to turn. When you fly into it, you're not going to see the end like a normal tunnel. See, that's one of the things that makes normal tunnels easy is, and of course it may make it too hard. I don't know. Well, we're going to find out. Maybe not a 45-degree angle, maybe just like a 30-degree angle or something that you go in it and then you've got to turn inside the tunnel without hitting the side of the tunnel, because it's not going to be like a like an infinity gate that's mirrors and all slick. This is a dog tunnel. And
yeah, you get it, you're going down.
Yeah, I mean, you should be able to turtle and get right back up because there's really nothing inside of it but fabric. But yeah, I think it's like a wormhole. You'll go in, but how will you come out?
That's cool.
And it might suck. We might get it and fly it, and everybody's like, I hate that thing. And
I like the infinity gate that you have, or the infinity tunnel.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It's cool. And it's kind of like a choke, or at least at the race I went to, it was like a choke point.
Uh-huh. That's the purpose of, you fly, Connie would go with me a lot. That track we were flying last night in the train yard, it's got that little tiny gate that you got to fly underneath it, then you got to go underneath the train. Those are choke points that if you don't slow down and watch what you're doing, you're not going to make it. So.
Yeah, or you'll slow down, but the person behind you won't, and they'll smack right into you, and you'll both get took out.
Okay, let me show you his. Kids, does it have any copyrighted media in it? Copyrighted songs in your video? I understand, brother. Living with pain sucks. And I can barely move most days. Pain let up enough to let me hang out. Well, man, we're glad to have you here tonight, brother. Glad to have you with us. I am going to watch it. Make me share another screen. Yep. Here. This is his Bartlett video. I'm gonna hold the sound on it because he's not on here to tell me whether it has copyrighted or not. This is a timer that he's using, the Tiny Views Plus, that uses QR codes to scan your time, is what it said in there.
Kiss started.
Can't see it.
Kiss, lap 1, 13.87 seconds.
So it's actually just a gate that you flying. Oh, well, look at there. I'm watching it. So you guys aren't. Let me take it back to the beginning.
We can't see video.
Yeah, because I didn't. I just said share, and not shared it on the screen. There we go. Let's try that again. Is Kiz still on here? Kiz, are you still on here? I would like to play it, but I don't want to get copyright stricken for it. Well, I've already watched some of it. Did you guys hear the audio of it earlier when I was playing it? Maybe not. All right, here we go with it. This is a QR, uses QR codes to scan your times and stuff. And I think it's in the gate, but we will watch it.
Yes. We could hear it.
Okay. So scan the camera, or the camera set up.
Quiz started.
Is started.
Quiz lap 1, 13.87 seconds.
I guess that's in the gate itself. I guess it's built into the gate. I guess it's built into the gate there. So
Race finish.
All right, there's his time. That, you know, that looks a lot like the this here, the lap RF. There. Looks like a lot like the lap RF. This will work on your phone, and it'll put the times and stuff up and save them. This makes. I'm talking with someone right now that may be interested in buying this, but if they're not, it'll probably end up on the Discord, on the buy sell swap meet type stuff. We've got some other stuff that I'm probably going to put on there, like this. This is probably going on there. This is the.
I have to be right back. Sorry.
All right, that's all right. This is the 75-inch Crazy Bee with the Cadix thing on it. It's also got a mount for the Insta360 Go. Probably going to list that also on the Discord. Let me encourage you guys, if you are up and able to, jump on over on the Discord. We would love to have you. It's free. There are parts of the Discord that are for members only, that I share behind the scenes stuff and all of that. But 90% of the Discord is free to everybody, and you guys are welcome to come on. You've got build problems, build questions, you got timer questions, rotor hazard questions, HD0 questions.
https://discord.gg/8nas8rju.
And so there's a link in the description there for the Discord, and I'm not going to be very long tonight. I got to try to remember that I had a method to my madness of what I had my whoops in the cases. So I want to do that. If anybody's got any questions about HD0 whoops, motors, frames, now's the time. Let us know in the chat. If you haven't already, and if you would, it doesn't cost you anything. It just takes just a second. If you haven't already, smash that like button. If you would, it would be greatly appreciated. Hit that like button. It's kind of like leaving a tip, except for it don't cost you anything. The more likes that the channel gets, the more it puts it out there to people. And you know, I've told you guys on the channel. Let me say this. It's big up here for a second, because I'm this might not be important to some of you, but it's important to me. If Randy P, if you're still in the Discord, if you're still on here, if you could chat something in the chat to let people know. I want to say it again that 100% of the money from memberships, the money from super chats, all of that, it doesn't come. It's not deposited into my bank account. YouTube doesn't send me a check. All of that first goes in to the church, which Phatpastor YouTube is. I do this. I do the races as part of my ministry to reach out to people to show them that, believers can be just like you, normal people. We're not all snake handlers or Kool-Aid drinkers or whatever you want to say. But I appreciate every super chat and every member. Thank you. You're a member of the channel. I appreciate it. That probably helps out the most. We've kind of went down a little bit in the membership, but there was some membership gifted, and some of those people, I don't know if they only watched a time or two, because I don't think, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think you can really choose when you gift a membership who gets it. So I think it's just about who's on chatting or whatever, and if it's somebody's first time on and YouTube just picks them, then that's how it goes. But I want to thank everybody, and I want to tell everybody that I hope you have a Merry Christmas, and I hope you guys get to spend time with your families. Yes, it is random 8-bit. And 8-bit would know because he's gifted memberships before, seen him. And but I hope you guys have
solo this year.
You have a Merry Christmas. Hope you get to spend some time with your families, and that I hope Santa brings you all of the FPV stuff. Man, I'm sorry to hear that, brother. Yeah, I won't get to spend Christmas with my family either, because y'all have heard the situation that I have a daughter with a compromised, well, more than a compromised, a very weak immune system, and I am just now getting over pneumonia. Notice this is probably the first stream in a long time that I've not been hacking and coughing, so I am grateful and thankful to that. But Sunday, we will have
Christmas.
We will have church, and then I'll go over to my mother's, and so I hope everybody does have a good Christmas. 8-bit, you should jump on Discord with us some night and chat with us, or Fly Tiny would go, or whatever. I actually spoke with Jesse P. Sorry about that, Zach.
It's all right.
Oh, I didn't know you were back on. I was plugging myself, and I was having one of those kind of.
I wasn't talking to you, Deeds. I was talking to that squirrel over there.
Oh.
I love it. I love it. They never get. Do they get old to you guys? Does it get old? Does the videos get old to you guys?
Nah.
If it does, all that I can say to you is
I'm bigger than you. I'm higher in the food chain. Get in my belly. Come on.
I'm higher in the food chain. Get in my belly. So, yeah. Yeah, don't you? I need to get some more. I need to get some new ones, don't I? I'm kind of wearing.
Yes, everyone have a safe and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yes, I'm kind of wearing them out a little bit.
Christmas, everybody.
Yes, Merry Christmas, everybody. To those of you that have not gotten your lady anything for Christmas yet,
Me run.
yeah. You got some build. Hey, there's Mrs. Z King FPV back over the shoulder there. How are you?
Good.
Yeah. By the end of January, she is going to be a full-fledged multi GP race coordinator. We're going to see to it. And
Oh yeah.
I like to see families doing this hobby together, and all. And let me just say this. Hey, Zayden, how are you, buddy?
You gotta go pee.
Yep.
Well, tell Mama.
He's just right there on the YouTube grabbing his junk. So.
Oh, was he? Sorry.
I thought he was. I might be wrong. I don't see good. I'm old, but yeah, come and join us. Had to go pee. All right.
On the DJI Red.
What? I heard something here about DJI. Let's see. Run, mini me, run. Yes, get in my belly. On the DJI remote ID. Huh. Okay. I don't. What do you mean by that? 8-bit.
Was he talking about 04?
I don't know.
I bet 04 is just going to be 03 with remote ID built in.
Probably. I've not kept up with the news and stuff this week in FPV, so maybe we.
I haven't this week.
So
but Bardwell made a video, or it was a live, I think.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he was saying that the 04 is like confirmed a thing, but they don't know anything about it, and that was like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
So. Yeah, I think Ian said the same thing. Just what is it? DJI has a knack for telling people long before something comes out that they're coming out with something. So, yeah, I'm just excited for this race. If you are in the Middle Tennessee area, Southern Kentucky, Northern Alabama, December the 30th at what do we have a settled time on what the start time is?
4, I think.
4 p.m. on Saturday night, the night before New Year's Eve. I plan on being there with my timers, my video, and all of that kind of stuff. As my mom used to say, if the Lord willing and the creeks don't rise. And nowadays we have bridges, so we don't really have to worry too much about the creeks rising. But yeah, we'd like for you guys to come out. Blue Rondo and Gage. Apologize to both of you guys that the miscommunication, that the message didn't get out there or whatever. I know Gage showed up at the church, and so I'll try to do a better job if something comes up and changes at the last minute of letting everybody know of the change of venue. But the best thing to do.
Address is right.
Yeah, the address. Okay, website, the address is right now. We got that. I typed that in there wrong. Got that in there wrong. But the best thing to do is to keep check. If you plan on coming, it doesn't cost you anything. It takes you about 5 minutes. Make you a multi-GP account and register for the race. You can register both through Soki and through Music City Multi-Rotor. You can do both. That will help Music City Multi-Rotor get up and going, back up and going. And if you don't register through Soki, Southern Kentucky, that's what that come up. I didn't make it. But this is, you'll know you're in the right place when you see that Southern Kentucky Multi-Rotor. We are doing, I am doing, Soki is doing a Winter Whoop series, and it's a point-based series. Somebody will go home from this race with a gold, a silver, and a bronze medal. Of course, it's not real gold, silver, and bronze, but you'll go home with a medal from the race, but you'll also get points, and the points add up to, I don't know if you can see right above the Pac-Man here, there is gold, silver, and bronze trophies. Let me just grab one, or grab all three of them.
Look a little bit on myself. This is the bronze one. This isn't mine. This belongs to Rad Baron, who won the last race. I just haven't seen him yet.
Yeah, it looks kind of silver from here. This is the gold that they will get. This is a Whoop trophy. And this is silver. And here's the bronze. Printed on the A1 Mini. And I don't know if you guys can see, but there's another set of them right up there, which means that if before the end of the season we will do a double header, a Friday night and a Saturday race, and the winner of the double header race will also get trophies. And I'm hoping if the memberships continue to be like they are, and
we need to let Mama find Daddy's. That one's not Daddy's.
And if the super chats and the money holds up, I'm hoping that at the winner of the end of the Whoop season will end up with a prize, maybe a Whoop, maybe even a fractal or something. I don't know. We'll decide on what that will be. It won't be something real cheesy like you won a frame. It'll be something worth giving away, and so yeah, come on out to the race, and even if you don't know how to race, just come on out, hang with us, have a good time. We're asking people to bring money because we're all probably going to try to chip in together and get some pizza or something. I think that's the plan. So come on out and hang with us. And how's Mr. Zayden?
Hey, look.
Hey, Zayden. How are you? Hello. Hello. What's this? You going to get big? Well, look at there.
What are you doing?
What are you doing? Hello.
What sound does the drum make? Look, there you go. There's Daddy's. Is that cool?
You said, look at the drone.
Yeah, see the drone on the back?
No, the drone.
What sounds does the drone make?
What sound does the drone make? Yeah. There you go. Fly it away. What? It was that big.
Vroom.
What is that?
That's a drone.
Little. It's little.
It's little.
It is little.
It's little.
It's little like these. It's actually probably a little bigger than these.
He said, look at mine. one.
What about this one, Zayden?
Ooh, look at that one.
Look at that one.
Show him that one.
Let me see if I can make it light up. I think I can make it light up.
Here, show him.
Hello.
There you go. Whoa.
Wow. It's big.
That's red.
Yeah.
I got 2 props missing.
Oh, good job.
Yup.
Good job. Yeah.
That gonna be your drone racer right there?
I think so.
Good job, bud.
Yeah.
What sound does the drone make?
No.
No.
What does the fox say? Do you know what the fox says?
No.
Y'all remember that old song? Ring, ding, 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 ding. I can't play it. Every time I play even just the shortest clip of it, I get copyright stricken. Whoever wrote that song or whatever, they are vicious about copyright strikes. Oh, look, got the Racer X there. Or is that your Vanny? Is that the Racer X?
That's the sub 250G.
That's your 3-inch? Oh, okay.
3.5. I actually have a video recorded for that to post. Show him this one. Show him the big one. Show it
what
to him.
sound does it make when it flies?
Zayden, do you like squirrels?
What's this?
So I
Hey,
like
Zayden.
breathing is living.
Do you like squirrels? Watch this squirrel. Watch this squirrel fly. Did you see that squirrel fly?
It didn't do anything.
Did you see that? Did you see that squirrel fly? That was silly, wasn't it?
Don't start picking your nose on camera, son.
If you pick your nose on camera, people will laugh at you. They'll do this right here. I love it. Seriously, I need to get Mike on here sometime for him to translate for me what that guy's actually saying.
Oh, he will.
Yes, I would love it. I would love it.
You'll have to show him the clip of it at the race. He's going to the race.
All right. All right. Well, look
You
there.
got my dog in the camera.
I see the dog over in the corner. Taz, is that his name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a good dog? Zayden, is he a good dog?
Is your dog good?
Is he a good dog?
Is your dog a good dog, Zayden?
That's my mom.
That's my mama. That's my mama.
Come on. What? What?
You ready to say bye?
All right. Bye, Zayden.
Say bye.
Say bye. Wave at him. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye, buddy.
Here you go.
Here.
Go put those up.
Come put these up. Grab the drums.
Grab the drones and go put them up.
Come here.
What are you talking?
Come here.
Well, we're gonna wrap the stuff up tonight anyway. Want to thank everybody for coming out and being a part tonight. Had a lot of good questions and another good live stream tonight. Like I said earlier, I hope everybody has a very Merry Christmas. Zach, thank you for stepping in tonight, and
no problem.
And we will we'll talk to you here in just a little bit. All right, man.
Alrighty.
Take care, brother.
Bye, everybody. Merry Christmas. Everybody be careful traveling and everything, and we'll see you next time.
All right, brother.
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a very good night.
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Amen. That's it. Gonna have the happiest Christmases. Bing Crosby. Oh, wait. I don't want to quote that, do it? So, yep. I want to thank everybody for being a part of the stream tonight. And as always, wherever you're at and whatever you're doing, keep flying and rise up and meet me in the air. Thank you, guys. God bless you. Merry Christmas.